Yes.
This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Hey, it's your boy Miguel G with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I have a guest for you, folks.
Yeah, that part. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. Shut this shit down. Love and respect, though, man. Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't know? Well, we told you we'd be here. And ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another episode of Break It Down. We're going to break down everything that went down on the press conference for WWE today. The press conference, the kickoff show, the beginning to WrestleMania 40. The shot that was probably heard around the world, or at least the slap that was heard around the world today. The shock and the awe. This thing was off the chain. WWE came at a whole different level, and they brought it. And I don't know if we have more answers or more questions to answers and answers to questions. This was something special, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, WWE blew it out of the water. They brought you a press conference in an arena, not in a back room, not on a secondary room, not off on some smaller venue. They brought you to T-Mobile Arena. They packed that house out to bring you a press conference, not a wrestling match, not a big wrestling extravaganza, but a press conference that was a little over an hour. And that place was packed. That place was rowdy. That place was just, I don't know, the word today is damn. And you can believe that. Mr. Clark, let's get your opening thoughts on this momentous occasion.
First, I'd like to hear a remix of the old WrestleMania theme. Oh, WrestleMania. Because you know what? When they said they put smiles on faces, that's what their job is. They did that tonight. They got me hyped. I am ready for WrestleMania. Let's go.
Yes, they took this ride that we started at Royal Rumble. We started on the road to WrestleMania. We thought we knew what was going to happen. Then we came into SmackDown, and the car got kind of knocked off into the ditch, into a corner. We didn't know what was going on. We had The Rock and Roman, and we were like, no. And a whole new world started. We want Cody. We want Rock. We want Cody. We want Rock. Began, and we didn't know what was going to happen. We came into Raw this week, and we really didn't get any more clarification. We didn't get a direction. Cody didn't challenge Seth. All we knew was this big press conference, and we were sitting there going, what is going to happen? And today we got a press conference of all press conferences. I mean, I don't know how you top this. I think there's somebody over in Jacksonville, Florida, sitting there probably crying in his office because he just got showed out. He couldn't even make a big announcement, feel important yesterday. And WWE said, let us show you how to make something feel important. And they did.
Absolutely.
I mean, this was a whole new level of anything WWE's done. And if they want to make if they want to make WrestleMania feel like the biggest WrestleMania ever, I think they put that on the right path.
Oh, yes. Yes, very much so.
So as you can see, I'm wearing my CM Punk jacket because I had to quickly switch because I had to represent. Because when we opened the show, we knew CM Punk it was lately announced that CM Punk was going to be there. Big E was announced to be there at the last little minutes. Michael Cole and several others. So when we opened it up, we had the 4-team panel that normally opens every pay-per-view. So this is awesome. We got a 4-man panel to kind of build the hype. We got Michael Cole, of course, leading the way. He was sitting off on what would have been the right-hand side if you were watching it, but instead of being in the center, which was great. You had Pat McAfee, so that added a great element. You knew Pat McAfee was here. The Super Bowl's in town for Vegas, big NFL weekend in Las Vegas. So Pat McAfee being there, he's got a lot of things going on, so good to see him there. Big E was there to add an element that was just awesome. And big props to Big E, because Big E even brought in about what Cody has done for the Hubert family, taking care of them after the passing of Brody Lee. He said Brody Lee on WWE TV. That's allowed to happen. Instead of saying Luke Harper, who he was in WWE, he got to say Brody or Brody Lee. I don't know if he said Brody Lee or just Brody, but it really doesn't matter. But they got the recognition, and I'm really happy that WWE is letting these names be mentioned without a lot of fallout. Nobody's going to get in trouble for it. It's so much better than it used to be when you just act like, oh, these people don't exist anymore. Hell, even in the opener when they did a whole WrestleMania review, you got to see some people that are no longer in the company shine on the screen, and even in the first guest on the show, or second guest on the show, I should say. But anyways, we had a great announce team. This was like, you were hyped just listening to the conversation between Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, Big E, and CM Punk. That was one of the great, best 4-man panels I've seen in professional wrestling, or at least in WWE, that gave us 4 guys that were just there, that were hyping everything up and keeping you ready to go. What did you think of this 4-man panel?
If there's any time to be in love with the 4-man panel, this was it.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm like, I wanted more of that.
You already knew what the standard was when you have Michael Cole and Pat McAfee.
Mm-hmm.
But then you add the beloved Big E, and you know the asshole that CM Punk can be. He's going to be entertaining. He's going to let you know what he thinks.
Yes.
And he loves to stir the pot. That's what he's great at. That's
yes.
what we love him for.
And it was great. I mean, he did his part. He played in the things here and there. Big E talked about everything Cody's done and how big Cody is. CM Punk pretty much calling out Cody, leading to what I thought might have been a segment. Because Punk was kind of mentioning, like, maybe I need to go talk to Cody that you don't give up your opportunity, and line him out. Because Punk kept saying it wasn't The Rock who threw me out of the Royal Rumble. It was Cody who threw him out at the Royal Rumble. And Punk was doing just great work here. Good to see Punk. Big E looks great. Can't wait to see him back in the ring. Punk, of course, 1 week away from surgery. And looking ready to go. I did see some previews of Punk and backstage stuff. I'm wondering if they're going to do a segment with Punk. His Rika is coming back. Or if they're going to do another docu-series with CM Punk. I would be really excited to see something behind the scenes while CM Punk is healing, for that to come to fruition. We do thank you all for being here. Make sure you hit that like video and join in the conversation. Let us know what you think about the press conference, if you watched it, or if you're just getting the rumors and the information afterwards. You're always welcome to put in your 2 cents. And anyway, so we started off the press conference with the COO, Paul Triple H Levesque. He came out and did started talking about WrestleMania 1, where the team of Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff with the Cowboy Bob Orton Bob Orton against Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Then he started talking about all the big names that have main evented, highlighted moments, lived as legends in the world of WrestleMania. We celebrated WrestleMania. This was a great moment. Triple H building everything up. It was great to see. And then we got Bianca Belair. She came out. She had a decent segment. They kind of propped her up. She doesn't really have a road to WrestleMania. She talked about her previous WrestleManias being the women's champion and walking out with the title this year. Jesus, she, having the title, and this year she's not. She didn't really give us any story, but she is going to be facing Mi Shin on SmackDown tomorrow night for a spot in the Elimination Chamber. She'll get the second spot, so she'll be joining Becky Lynch in that Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia. Good moment for Bianca Belair. And then from there, we got Mommy. And the Mommy chants were ridiculous. The Mommy chants were hot. Mommy is beloved in the city of Sin. Mommy is loved in Las Vegas. She came out and highlighted her moment, talked about her big match. So coming up in Perth, Australia, her home country, she's going to have a big moment against Nia Jax. And that's going to be awesome. Of course, eventually we got the man, Becky Lynch. Big Time Bex came out and enjoying the conversation. They kind of had a stare down. Can't wait to see what we're going to get with Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley going into WrestleMania. What were your thoughts on these first two guests of the show?
Bianca's, she puts herself good hype. Still not my favorite character, never will be. If she continues the way she is, but you have to respect her dedication and her work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite line from Becky and Rhea Ripley, however, though, is, and I'm going to paraphrase. I don't remember how.
Keep it appropriate.
I'm just saying what they said. That she was going to turn Mommy into a bottom.
Yes. No, that was a great.
In other words, Becky's going to be. She's going to go into the Elimination Chamber. She's going to win her match to get into the Elimination Chamber, win the Elimination Chamber, and then go on to defeat Mommy. It's what she's trying to tell us.
Yes.
I can't wait to see if she actually does it or not. Because I want to see that match. I want to see Becky. I want to see Rhea Ripley. I think they will tear the damn house down.
No, I think we're building to a great WrestleMania. I think we can see what's coming, and it's going to be excellent. This was a great moment between Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley. We know Bayley's going to take on Io Sky, so things are set in motion there. And Elimination Chamber is going to be awesome in Perth, Australia. Rhea's going to have a good moment with Nia Jax in her home country. I'm sure Bronson Reed's going to get a big moment, also being from Australia.
I would hope so. It's like, use every tool you got if you're that kind of...
So, I think Elimination Chamber is going to be great. It's going to be at an odd time, and of course, that is on the 24th of February. That is the same day that me and Mr. Z are going to go to Stockton Con in Stockton, California. We're going to be there that day, so it's going to be kind of hard how we're going to juggle all of that and give you a review show on Elimination Chamber. But we will get that out to you when we can. That information, at least on what is going to happen on that day, how we're going to plan that out to make it work. From there, we got Seth Rollins, the world champion. Seth Rollins comes out. He was announced. And of course, he comes out. He's talking about it, and he wants to figure out what he's going to be doing at WrestleMania. So he calls out Cody Rhodes. But before Cody Rhodes can come out, we get the music of Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out, and he is here pretty much brushing off Seth Rollins, telling him that's his secondary champion, that he is here because he's going to dictate who he's going to face at WrestleMania. Cody missed his opportunity, and now Roman's going to take it, and the Roman has decided who he's going to face at WrestleMania, and he is going to face The Rock. And the music hits, and out comes The Rock, and we get a moment, we get the chants, we want Cody, we want Rock, we want Cody, we want Rock. The Rock comes out. his character, kind of a board member direction here, a little more power because he's like he kind of took charge and talked to the newspapers, and he talked about what he announced earlier on the Pat McAfee show, the Cody Crybabies. If you haven't watched Pat McAfee show for that, you need to go back and watch that. That was a great moment too. But we now have the new statement of the Cody Crybabies, and so he announced the Cody Crybabies. Him and Roman made the match to be the greatest match of WrestleMania. Rock told him, if you don't like it, you're going to respect it. They put up the bloodline family tree. They talked about The Rock's grandfather, Roman's grandfather. They made a blood pact many years ago in Samoa, and that they are family. They sold that, so these two guys are going to wrestle. They put they shake hands, they have a moment, and then out of nowhere, we hear Cody go, hold on, wait a minute. And Cody comes out and says, I won the Royal Rumble. I have the right. You don't have the right to dictate it. And he decides to finally tell us and tell the world he's facing Roman Reigns for the Universal title at WrestleMania. What does that mean when he said, I'm not facing you at WrestleMania? I think we've had a storyline change, ladies and gentlemen. I think Cody said that with a thought because he said, he took counsel. He talked to The Rock. I think he thought The Rock was there to help him. But The Rock went full heel. The Rock has become a heel now. The Rock came out and just kept exudating the heel persona. And when we saw him and Roman, there wasn't this two guys that wanted to beat the snot out of the others. It was two bloodline members. It was two family members trying to have respect, and it was going to be way different. And Rock just went full heel. When Cody came out, The Rock stood over on Roman's side, and oh boy, it got heated up. Cody started talking about the bloodline, started talking about Roman's family and his goons and everything, and this got The Rock upset, and The Rock stepped out in front of Roman and came face to face with Cody. Cody kind of was like, and The Rock was like, you're going to talk about his family because his family's my family, yada, yada, you don't talk about our family, and then smacked the snot out of Cody. I mean, he slapped Cody, and you were like, oh, it was an oh my gosh moment in wrestling that you weren't expecting it to go this way. Then Seth Rollins got involved. He snapped. He was going after The Rock. And Triple H, Nick Aldis, Adam Pearce were all there. They had to get in between it. As Cody was being pulled off stage, The Rock was yelling at him, and Seth Rollins he even stated, I don't care if you're a member of the board of directors, you don't get to do this. The Rock going, we can do whatever we want. Both The Rock and Roman telling him, we run this place, we run this show. Even when they blew up the family tree, The Rock said the royal family, the biggest royal family in professional wrestling. So, good God. This thing was amazing. This thing was great. The way they presented this, you didn't see any of this coming. They started pushing The Rock and Roman Reigns. You're like, okay, so this is what we're going to get. But when Cody came out there, that whole wave shifted, and it was a whole new storyline. So you don't know if you're going to get Rock. I don't know if we're going to get Rock versus Roman, Cody versus Roman. I don't know if we're going to get Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman at WrestleMania. The possibilities of what we could get are endless now, and even after everybody got off stage and we went in the back, we had another moment where they were interviewing Triple H, and Triple H was going, hey, it's fresh, it's new. Here comes The Rock, Roman, and Paul Heyman walking past them, and The Rock tells Triple H, you need to fix this, you need to get this correct. And The Rock and Roman, or not The Rock, The Rock and Triple H get into a heated conversation. The Rock says, you should be glad you're retired. And Triple H says, yeah, you probably should too. So they intensified this. They blurred reality and storyline so far beyond that you can't, you don't know what's going on. They put heat between The Rock and Triple H. So you're talking about the man in charge of creative, The Rock on the board of directors. And then you had CM Punk, who had too much fun because CM Punk kept telling everybody, when somebody pisses you off, you just punch him in the teeth. If Rock wants to punch Cody, you should punch Cody. If Cody wants to punch Rock, you should punch Rock in the mouth. Just punch him in the teeth. Punch him in the teeth. It was great because Punk was just like, hey, this is what you do. This is professional wrestling. You just, you got to do what you got to do. But they've really blurred the lines between it all. You don't know what is going on. There is so much they created in one night, and we still don't have a main event match booked for WrestleMania. We have a lot of possibilities, a lot of crazy, crazy possibilities. This thing was years beyond anything we've seen in wrestling in a long time, and it got you excited. Whether you were a I want Cody fan or I want Rock fan, where this all blended in together tonight, you're like, I just want whatever you're going to give me now. You just serve it. I'm ready.
Take my money.
Exactly. What we thought was bad, and what we thought was bad was good and bad. And then, I mean, if you were, I mean, like I said, I don't know if we've been worked the whole time. I don't know if this was a thing that became a shoot that they had to turn into a work to save it. I think this has been a master plan all the way from the beginning, and Cody just became the face of the place. If Cody is not the man, if Cody is not now the next John Cena to pick up that man, to pick up that torch and run with this company for the next few years, I don't know who is. Cody face to face with The Rock, and you're like, damn. and even the idea that we might see Cody versus The Rock. Who knows? With The Rock on the board of directors, is The Rock going to be in more wrestling? Is he going to come back in and do more matches again? Is he going to have a bigger role? Are we set on a storyline? Because The Rock says I'm a long gamer. Maybe it's not the story he wants to tell. Maybe it's the fact that he's going to be a long gamer, because the story they're going to tell may be a whole nother year. They could have what they just did tonight could lead to a whole nother year. They just revitalized what could be this Bloodline storyline by mixing The Rock in this direction. So now you're like, well, okay, yeah, I want to see Cody beat Roman and take that title off of him. But also, I mean, if you did a tag team match, Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth, and then you had Cody having to fight the whole Bloodline and the Rock and the Roman, and for the next year, we could be waiting another year for Roman Cody. Not my favorite thing, but it could happen, and it will make sense. I mean, you would be dragged back into it again because they formed this element. Of course, again, here's the other thing. Maybe Cody beats Roman, and then you have Rock and Roman trying to get back the title, reforming the Bloodline. But eventually, where does the Rock and Roman go when you have these two big super egos? Who's the head of the table now? Because The Rock outshines Roman a little bit in this moment. So could we be building to next year without ever saying it? If we don't get Rock and Roman this year, if that doesn't become solidified, if we get Rock and Cody, or if we get this tag team match, I don't know. It's really interesting. But if The Rock's now seeming aligning with Roman, so it's a little harder to see a Roman Rock match. If The Rock is on that same page, it's still be a great match in ring. But right now, if you were to put them together, I don't think it would have that same flavor. But if you had them working in collusion over the next year, and then finally these two big egos explode on one another, where, The Rock's The Rock's going to outshine Roman, and Roman's sitting here going, I'm God mode. I'm the head of the table. How does he get to come in here? No. And then they start feuding and eventually explode. I mean, there's where, if you line Rock and Roman could be your mega powers of this generation. This could be your Macho Hulk Hogan. Let them run for a year, in the next WrestleMania, when the Bloodline explodes, and you could tell this whole storyline of the Blood Pact that was made by each of their grandfathers all these many years ago, and the whole Bloodline story. I think if you really if you sat on that for the next year, you put these two together, let them work in collusion, trying to stop Cody, trying to rule the WWE. Ooh, I think you need that tag team match. I think you were right. I think you give us Rock Roman versus Cody Seth. I know a lot of people are going to be disappointed because Roman's going to run with that title a little longer. But get on this train.
We don't know that. Because Cody did say he wants Roman, he wants the title, WrestleMania. That's what he said at the press conference. Even though we are kind of going wild because of all that happened after that, with the ideas of what could happen with a tag team match, or with a four-way, or with a... We say we don't know, but by the same token, Cody did say WrestleMania.
Roman. He did say that, but after the events that happened, Cody said that before he got slapped by The Rock. Where does he stand now? We haven't heard from Cody. So, we can pivot.
He said he made this decision. So I think they're going to stick with that, but they're going to tell a fuller story with everything else.
I don't know. I really don't know. And maybe The Rock becomes a special guest referee in this and screws Cody.
Okay, that's a possibility. That's for sure a possibility.
I just see now, as I'm talking about this, I see if you put Roman and The Rock in collusion, if they're going to work together as the bloodline, as they presented it, when The Rock stepped over there and stood behind Roman, when this all came down and The Rock and Roman shook in a friendly handshake, not the visceral that we saw on SmackDown where they were like, "Why are you here?" When they came together and it was a brother friendly, cousin friendly, whatever you want to call it, fight to see who's the head of the table. And then when The Rock stood beside Roman when Cody came out, and then when Rock stepped in front of Roman and said, "You talk about his family, I talk about you're talking about my family," and smacked Cody, Roman's kind of part of it. And then afterwards, Roman, The Rock, and Paul Heyman are walking out together. The Rock's kind of put himself into the bloodline. And I'm like thinking about this now. If you want Rock and Roman at WrestleMania this year, that's great. But guess what? You just set it up for next year. But you have to have Roman and Rock work together. I.e., the Mega Powers, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. They have that same. They could have that same moment, that same chemistry, that same. You're going to have two of the biggest egos working together in a bloodline. And The Rock's always going to kind of outshine Roman right now. And Roman's got to be, if he is Roman, the God level, the God mode, the head of the table, how is he going to like anybody that's outshining him, who could, where he's not looked at the head of the table because, well, the Rock's really the head of the table. You can just say that. And then you could build a whole storyline for a year where at WrestleMania 41, these two massive egos blow up. So it changes a lot of things because not that Roman needs the title, but you would still have to keep Roman and The Rock kind of meddling in a lot of things. Of course, Cody could beat Roman at WrestleMania and win the title, and then you could have The Rock using his board of directors keep trying to screw Cody to get Roman the title back while still building Roman and The Rock, having this slow burning clash as much as they did with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. Of course, there won't be Miss Elizabeth involved, but you've got the bloodline storyline, and you could take just that and talk about their grandfathers and how they created the storyline, and now they're going to break that bloodline. They're going to break that blood brother pack by fighting one another because of the woo. There is so much there to unpack, ladies and gentlemen. There is so much there to digest. We do not have a main event for WrestleMania. Let me make that perfectly clear. Nothing for sure has been solidified. Did Cody say, yes, I won the Royal Rumble. I have the right to main event WrestleMania. I have the right to choose. Cody says he wants Roman and that Universal title at WrestleMania. But again, like Michael Cole, Pat McAfee, and everybody after this, even Big E was like, I don't know what to tell you because I don't know what's going on. I'm just here. Let me just, we have nothing. And Pat McAfee brought, The Rock's up on the board of directors. How could that affect? We know Michael Cole re-announced that Cody said he wants Roman Reigns for that Universal title at WrestleMania, and Cody has that right as the Royal Rumble winner. But they did not give you a guarantee. They did not say this is happening. And even afterwards, when they were asking Triple H, so what are we doing? And Triple H is like, there was no commitment. So now we're still on a storyline. We're still being drug along. What is going to happen? How's this all going to play out? Cody could come. Now, we had Cody say, I'm not going to take the title at you at WrestleMania. Now he's saying, I am going to take the title. How do they fix that? Because I know some people are complaining, well, how do you change? Well, that's really simple. You just say, I thought The Rock was doing, I thought I could trust The Rock and I could see what The Rock was really after, and I decided, no, I'm going to take my shot. So that's fine. But Cody could pivot and be like, you know what? I want The Rock. Or some formation. So, there is a lot that's going to go on here. And WrestleMania 40 is probably going to be...
Yes, I could see how that story could play. It's not WrestleMania. Because the point of being a Royal Rumble winner is for a title.
I know, but with the story they just put out there in front of you, you have a whole... And this kind of...
I see the path. I understand how you can get there.
And you're the one who said it before we ever got on air. Well, what if it's a tag team? Because they talked about WrestleMania 1 and that original tag team match with Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff. I mean, we could pivot into that direction.
I put the idea out where they're foreshadowing a tag team match because they put so much emphasis on the original WrestleMania main event.
Mm-hmm. Well, and we could pivot to that direction at WrestleMania. I mean, it kind of helps Seth because Seth doesn't have to defend the title and he can cover for his injury. You know, and you can still have the storyline go down. But with The Rock being the one that slapped Cody, Cody's going to be that guy. He's going to want The Rock. You smacked the shit out of me. You disrespected me and my family. Okay, so where do we get Cody and The Rock? Now, do you bring this tag team? It covers Seth Rollins. It kind of helps The Rock where he doesn't have to run a full match by himself right now because he looks like he's in great shape. He might be able to go. I don't know.
He's probably in great, his body's in great shape, I'm sure. He works out every day as I understand it. But I still don't think he's in good in-ring shape.
So that's the other thing. If you do this tag team match at WrestleMania, you kind of cover up for some of what Seth wouldn't be able to bring, kind of cover up for maybe The Rock, where he might be a little rusty or whatever. We don't know how much he wrestles. He may be in perfect shape and ready to go out there and do a 60-man Iron Man match. I'm not saying The Rock can't go. I'm just saying we don't know how far he could go it's going to be interesting. There's so many possibilities they presented at this table now. And they've reinvested and reinvigorated kind of the bloodline. We were seeing the end of the bloodline story. We thought we were in the bottom of the ninth. Well, we may not be in the third inning anymore. We may be coming into the bottom of the seventh. They may just saying, the seventh inning stretch, take me out to the ball game. So we may be right in that era of this game, which means we might have a couple more innings to go. So this story may not be over at WrestleMania. Some people may not like it. But I think you've revitalized the bloodline. If The Rock is going to be aligned with Roman the way they presented it now, you have a whole different look at that bloodline. And with other cousins that are existing, other family members that are out there that WWE that they could try to get and bring in. And then you could have even afterwards, you could lead into next year where Roman and The Rock have a bloodline split. And then you have the bloodline feuding. There's so much there now.
They have the possibility as a single promotion to make the bloodline even bigger than Bullet Club. And
yes.
Bullet Club is across multiple promotions.
Yes.
When you look at their origins to where they are now. WWE, once again, is in a position to be the biggest ticket, to be the biggest box draw, and to have the biggest and best of everything if they play the cards right.
I think they just told us that WrestleMania 41 may be Roman Rock. I don't know if Roman will have the title at that, but I think what they are doing now, they realize giving us Rock Roman now is not the time. They're going to pivot that to next WrestleMania. Because now they have a whole year. They've aligned The Rock with Roman. And here's the other thing they can take from this caveat. If you have Rock and Roman together in the bloodline together, Rock's always going to kind of outshine Roman. No matter what, Roman's great, but The Rock is Rock. I mean, you put Roman next to The Rock, you're kind of like, yeah, The Rock's the guy. The Rock's the head of the table. You're there, you say it. You've done a lot to prove yourself as a head of the table, but you're not The Rock. And what this has got to do to Roman's ego. Not only that, you could also keep Rock the heel, turn Roman babyface before next WrestleMania, where he comes out as the babyface, beating Roman at next year's WrestleMania, and then Roman's going to be the huge, massive star as a babyface going forward. I mean, look at what you could do just in the next year with The Rock aligning with the bloodline, carry that storyline. Roman could be the Hulk Hogan, the baby face that comes out of that moment.
Right.
That is freaking insane. But good God, what they did today has set up so many things as possibility. It's got you. You should be excited for WrestleMania now more than ever. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know.
That's fair. That is so bloody fair.
Wow. Anything else you want to add to this?
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe we should. The people in Jacksonville, take out your notebooks, write some notes down. They just showed you how it was done. We love you. We want to see you do well. But at this point in time, you ain't beating and you ain't tapping out the WWE.
You're
There's
exactly
a reason why they are the elite.
yes. Angela Walker, thank you for your comment. And I don't know if Roman should trust The Rock. We don't know what the end storyline is there. But like I told you, I think you could really write the storyline to a way where you could have Rock Roman next year turning Roman babyface, and it could be on that calibers of the explosion of the mega powers.
Absolutely.
And there's another main event match already for WrestleMania 41. And we don't know where WrestleMania 41 is going to take place, if I recall. I've heard rumors that it may be Las Vegas. So, I mean, ooh. I can't wait to see what we're going to get. Tomorrow night is SmackDown. We'll be here tomorrow night to give you a SmackDown review. Will we learn more by tomorrow night? I don't know. When is this all going to break down? When is this all going to come forward? It's going to be interesting. I mean, you're going to have to watch every edge of everything. I don't know if we'll get something on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Yes, Triple H, I do have to say this. Coming out of Twitter, Triple H said people went into business for themselves. In his little comment, you know, what can you do when people go into business for themselves? So, I mean, I think that's just storyline. I don't think that's actually people going into business for themselves, but you got to go with the storyline. Triple H and the Roman Reigns, or The Rock and Roman Reigns going in business for themselves. It makes sense. This is incredible. Sean Rostap saying this is BS before it all happened. Oh, and Cody coming out and saying this is bull. It was perfect.
Yep.
But when Cody came out, you could tell. I think you have to go back. I think Cody and Roman or The Rock had a conversation, and Cody thought The Rock was going to come in and do something. And then when he saw what was going down the night, Cody came out and told you, wait a minute, this is bull. Cody called out the bull, and yeah, I think we're on the right page. I think we're in the right direction. I think everything we saw coming into this, the dread, the people who are ready to kind of give up on WrestleMania, give up on WWE because Cody won the Rumble and now he was giving up his match to The Rock. People who were watching SmackDown and who were pissed off at the end of SmackDown were like, oh, I'm done. I might rage quit. You know.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who might say something like that.
No. Not pointing fingers. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. Not gonna do it. I'm just saying, I know a lot of people are pissed off with what they saw coming out of SmackDown. But when you get here, you're like, ooh, okay, I'm ready to watch again. Here's my money. Give me the network. Give me the, I mean, you're like, I'm gonna quit. Right.
Here's the money for my mortgage, okay?
I think a lot of people were exiting the building were like, oh, what? And they came right back in. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you. I think the road to WrestleMania just got a rocket strapped to it. You're no longer going down the road in a Prius. We are now in the Ferrari, the Corvette, whatever your fastest fan favorite car is. And we're speeding into Philadelphia. And we went from turning it up, being on dial 1, we turned it up to 10, and woo! I don't know. There are so many possibilities. There's so many things that could possibly come out of this going forward. I mean, we could see a tag team match, which would be awesome and still make WrestleMania feel important. I know a lot of people might be disappointed that Roman won't lose his title. We could get the title match. We could get The Rock being a special guest referee. Is Cody going to get screwed again? I don't know. And where does Cody and The Rock come into play in this? Because I don't see Cody not having a match with The Rock. Could we get Cody Rock at
some point?
Could we get Cody Rock at SummerSlam?
That's a possibility.
Hell, what if we got a new bloodline? The Rock, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, and maybe the American Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, maybe one of the other members of the Bloodline. You got 5 men there. You get Cody, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, maybe it's Sami Zayn, maybe CM Punk gets in there. And what if we're working at the beginning of War Games?
I would so be down.
The Rock in War Games would be insane. And the only reason I say you put CM Punk in there, because War Games, Survivor Series, you need to put all the biggest names you can put in there. Could we see Seth Rollins and CM Punk and Cody Rhodes all come together in one night to help take down the Bloodline? If you cross all these stories and blend them in right, you could freaking do it and do it beautifully over the next year. So I can't. And the great thing about this now is WrestleMania, you can't say for sure that even if we get Cody Roman for the Universal title, that Cody is going to win. See, before, like coming out of Rumble, we would have said Cody's finally going to finish his story. He's going to win that title. The fall of the Roman Empire is coming. The end is here. The Bloodline's going to die. And now you're like, okay, we thought Rock Roman, that was going to be it. No, now we don't know who. And then even if Cody were to take Roman and we do get this match, we don't know what role The Rock's going to play. We don't know where the storyline's going. They've opened this door so wide now that they could carry this story for another year. And I know some people are going to, another year, but I mean, you've added The Rock. You've changed the elements.
But yeah, when you look at the change of ingredients is what makes it savory, is what makes it worth it. In that respect, okay.
Yes. See,
the thing that's going down now is if you're an old school fan, especially if you're an Attitude Era fan, what you're looking at is the unpredictability factor. That is what made the Attitude Era, the unpredictability factor. And this is where we got a dose of that here tonight and what we want going forward.
Yes. WrestleMania is more unpredictable now than it was yesterday. Period.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the elements of, like we've talked about here, what could be the possibility of these outcomes, how this is all going to play out. The fact of the matter that they had Seth Rollins on the stage in this interaction, and Seth Rollins confronting The Rock, Seth Rollins getting out there, and Seth Rollins throwing out, oh, you're the board of directors. Yes, Triple H is talking about making it more realistic, more of a sports presentation. This is all good stuff. But now you've involved different elements. You've revitalized the Bloodline because The Rock, if not officially, the statement and the picture they painted when The Rock stepped on the side of Roman and stood there, that kind of solidified. And then afterwards, when they were all walking out together, you're kind of like, ooh, Rock looks like he's a part of the Bloodline. He looks like he's aligning with Rome. And he kind of did that when he's like, you're talking about his family, you're talking about my family, and smacked the snot out of Cody. You've made the Bloodline so much bigger. I don't know. I'm excited to see what's going on next week. Are we going to see Rock on TV more as we build to WrestleMania? Will we see The Rock tomorrow night? I think that's something we need to pay attention to do because, I mean, this isn't over. This isn't done. We've only started.
Not by a long shot.
We thought we had the idea of WrestleMania, and now we're sitting here going, no, we don't know what's going to go on. We've just started this moment now.
You want to talk about egos? Let's talk about Seth Rollins and the World Heavyweight title. What is he going to say on Monday to start proving, hey, this is not a secondary title. This is not a secondary prize. This is the title. Granted, it doesn't have the lineage, but they keep saying it's the workhorse title.
Yes.
What is he going to do? How's his story going to mold into? No. Now it's time to once again prove this is the title for all of WWE. Give it that shine.
It's going to be interesting. There's just so many things now that you soak this in, and even after we get off air and digest it a little more and think about it and run it back a couple more times, it's still going to have a lot of crazy possibilities to what it could be because there's no definitive answers. If anything, we got more questions. I mean, let's bring Roddy Piper into the equation. When you think you got all the answers, I change the questions, or I don't think we went into this thinking. I think we thought we might have had an idea, but I don't think anybody could have predicted this is where we would wind up by the end of this press conference. This is not where I was seeing this going.
Not at all.
And now we're even sitting here going, where are we going? What are we going to do? We talked about, could it be a 4-way dance for both titles? Could it be a 3-way dance? Could it be a tag team match? Where does Rock and Roman go forward into the future? What? I mean, there's so many possibilities, and that's what makes wrestling awesome. This is what somebody down in Jacksonville in the center area is missing out. Yes, you want to show us great wrestling in the ring, and that's great, but when you try to give us part storylines but not storylines, and you don't give us anything to really clamp on, and then we're over here going, look at this, and we don't know, we can't figure it out. We want to plug in, and when we're excited, when you come on air and just do an announcement and you don't build that excitement like WWE did tonight, you're failing to miss the target, and WWE blew it out of the water. This was a 10 out of 10. WWE brought it.
Oh, yes.
They put it in a massive arena, filled that arena with people. And I mean, I'm surprised that stage was able to maintain all that weight of massive stars. I mean, at one point you had on that stage The Rock, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Triple H, Nick Aldis, and Adam Pearce. I mean, that's a lot of star weight on that stage there. I mean, it's impressive that thing could stay up with all that.
That's star power. That is heavy lineage and history of multiple companies.
Oh, yeah.
The WWE just saying, here it is, for all the opulence that we can muster.
Well, and that makes me want to go here, and we'll throw in here for Keith Lee, bask in the glory.
Absolutely.
I know it's not his glory, but we'll bask in the glory of what WWE just presented, what they laid out. They baked a cake. Triple H, WWE, The Rock, whoever went in the kitchen and baked us up a cake, cut it out, served it up to you, and you were like, damn, can I get another piece of that cake?
The most gourmet thing possible.
Yes, they killed it. I mean, you want to talk about goosebumps. After tonight, you're like, whoo, I felt it. That's what's great about wrestling is when you feel it in your soul, your core. When you can feel it in your body, you're like, ooh. When you get on the edge of your seat and you're just like, oh, where's this going? I mean, I about jumped out of my seat when Cody got smacked by The Rock. I did not see that coming. You're just like, ooh. And those are the greatest moments in professional wrestling. When they can get you invested, they can pull you in, and they've got you on your edge of the seat. You feel the goosebumps, and you're just like, ooh. And, yeah. Anyways, ladies and go ahead.
Whether, first of all, when you can get the boys to feel, when you can get us long-time fans to feel, because we've seen a lot of this. So there's a lot of things we can kind of telegraph based on patterns. But when you can get us invested, that it's so good, even though we've seen so much wrestling over the years, that this is still the thing to watch. This is what we fell in love with. This is why we fell in love with it.
Exactly. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the big time. That's Paulus Clark. I know I didn't do our introductions when we came in. We kind of just jumped into this hot kettle because there was just so much to talk about. It was so awesome coming out of that. It's been great. 34 of you coming in here today. We appreciate that. For everybody's here, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Join the VOW Wrestling family. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. And if you're watching this later, please join in the comments. Drop your thoughts into the comments below. You're always welcome here. And again, me and Mr. Clark will be here tomorrow night for SmackDown review. We're going to bring you everything that's going to come out of SmackDown. SmackDown is going to be a must-watch show as it stands right now. Will The Rock be there? I don't know. I would assume we're going to see some fallout. We're going to get something, whether it's a little piece of the pie or a bigger piece of the pie. I don't know. I don't know when we're going to find out for sure anything. But I know tomorrow night we'll probably get a little Easter egg. We might get a little treat. We might get a little, piece of the candy, something. So, I mean, SmackDown tomorrow night is definitely must-watch TV. You know that coming out of the night, you got to be tuning into SmackDown. Roman Reigns is on SmackDown. Will Cody Rhodes be there? Will The Rock be there? There is so much to unpack, and we can only wait for tomorrow to see if we get more out of that. But until then, we're going to get out of here. We're going to say goodnight. We're going to say fair adieu and so long. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the next one.